Hi guys! Today I would like to invite you to join me on a little journey. The love story between my cats and me. A love story that defies convention because it all started with a prompt. The prompt that changed everything. They wouldn't be part of the family if a language model hadn't brought us together. Without its help at the right time, guiding me through the decisions, our paths might never have crossed. But first things first, please meet these fluffy sweethearts here named Neo and Simba. The new family members make life so much more enjoyable. Day and night they are seeking for the next big adventure in my apartment. Weeks ago I realized I wanted to open my home. But finding the one cat felt overwhelming. You have to know, in my city there are a lot of animal shelters, kitten owners, or other organizations that bringing together human and animal. Therefore, doing the research consumes a massive amount of time. There are just too many options to choose from and a lot of text to read. That's why I needed a little aid here. I consulted the most competent supporter I know, ChatGPT. So please, ChatGPT, help me find the cats that fit into my life. Of course, I needed up-to-date results, so my quest required a little web search. I could not only rely on the trained world knowledge of the language model, I needed more. Even if the training cutoff was just recently, we need information from the internet. Alrighty, let's go! Time to build up an awesome prompt. What is important to me? I wanted to be as precise as possible because, as you know, the better the prompt is, the more accurate is the result. I would like to adopt 2 cats. Yes, because these cats are going to be indoor cats only and then they have each other to play with. I live in Hamburg, that is in Germany, and I would like to buy a cat from Hamburg or the surrounding area. The cats should be indoor cats, yeah, that's it. Make sure that the 2 cats already know each other and get along well. The cats should also be neutered, vaccinated and chipped. In case they get lost, I have a way and no issues to find them again. The breed of the cats does not matter. Where I live, the European short-hair cat breed is very common. And the cats should be a maximum of 3 years old. The age does not matter that much, but as you can see, I would prefer younger cats or kittens. I would like to adopt the cats immediately, of course, and I would like to pay a maximum protective fee of 200 euros per cat. Protective fee is just the price for the cat. That's just how you call it if you buy it from somewhere. Search the internet and focus on animal shelters and protection organizations for suitable cats. I was about to shoot out my prompt, but then I saw that there is another option besides the web search. It is called deep research. Sounds promising, let's try this one. In contrast to my usual experience with ChatGPT, I did not immediately get the response, but I received some counter question to sharpen the focus of my prompt. That was interesting. In my case, I was mainly extending the information for whether I need delivery and what type of website to include. I don't need delivery and you can include whatever you like. I'm just thrilled to see the results. What's that? A progress bar appeared. Recherche wurde gestartet. That's German for research is being started. Looks like ChatGPT needs some time to work on my task. Fine, take your time, I can wait. In the meantime, I could start preparing the apartment for the new habitants. Then, after about 15 minutes, ChatGPT has finished its reasoning process, and the results were mind-blowingly good. I'm not gonna lie, I was not ready for such a laser-accurate report. So, what was the response from ChatGPT? It condensed all the sources it could find to a handful of cat pairs matching my requirements from earlier. For some of them, it even rendered images of the cats into its answer. The bullet points are stating exactly the facts that I mentioned in my prompt. We can see hard facts like the age of the cats, their price, or whether they are vaccinated or not. What I found very pleasing is the absence of unnecessary information. I was not crammed with a wall of text, but with structured, distilled profiles. The references were provided at the very end of the answer, so I could trace back and double check everything. For each of the suggestions, the URL was provided in order to reach out to the organizations, which I did. And then I saw them, Odin and Reggie, which will later be called Neo and Simba. It was just love on the first sight. One email and 2 long weeks later, the 2 sweethearts could finally move in. Alright, let's talk about deep research. ChatGPT's Deep Research is a feature of OpenAI that has been released on 2nd February 25. However, deep research or this kind of processing is not limited to ChatGPT. Generally speaking, in the context of large language models such as ChatGPT, deep research refers to a process where the model does more than generate responses based solely on its pre-trained knowledge. Instead, it actively walks through the following 3 steps. Step 1. Retrieve up-to-date information through tools like the integrated web search. Step 2. Digest and evaluate that information using its built-in reasoning capabilities. And step 3. Produce a contextually accurate output that reflects both the historical world knowledge and the latest data it has found. How does this differ from standard LLM responses? In a typical interaction, an LLM generates answers by drawing on its own training data, a snapshot of information it learned during model development, up to a certain cutoff date. This is akin to retrieving information from memory without accessing new or external sources. In contrast, deep research enables the LLM to perform live web searches to gather current information from relevant sources and then apply reasoning to interpret that data. The reasoning process would deserve its own video, coming soon on this channel. In short, it is much like a human would think or reason when conducting such a research task. Reasoning in LLMs refers to the model's ability to go beyond simply recalling facts from its training data and instead analyze, connect and draw logical conclusions from information. This enables us following multi-step instructions. Sometimes we see the models think about its own strategy. This is what we call chain of thoughts, which is tightly coupled with the reasoning process. So, reasoning allows the model to provide coherent answers rather than just retrieving memorized text. We have seen this process with my cat research. First, the model could understand my requirements and was capable of mapping these against the information it has found on the websites. Before we finish, allow me to present my opinions about our findings. For me, this project changed my view on web research forever. Deep research allows LLMs to overcome the limitations of static training data and remain relevant in rapidly evolving domains. It combines the efficiency of automated web search with the LLM's reasoning capabilities to generate higher quality, evidence-based outputs. We as humans can concentrate more on the results, on the what, and less on the process. We can see that trend progressing when using, for example, Google to answer a question. The Google LLM Gemini will take the first search results and tries to answer your query on whatever information it has found behind these URLs. We are at such a point where AI is not just a funny tool to generate Studio Ghibli images, it is a fundamental tool to increase productivity and therefore revenue. Give me any suggestions what I could do next with deep research and I put it into a video. Thanks for watching.